This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Friday morning to you. It is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network. VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course, SiriusXM Channel 158. It's Gil Alexander. It's Kelly Bidlin, everybody. How you doing?
Hey, man.
Oh.
I should silence my cell phone. That's something you do when you're on the radio.
What's that?
Silence your cell phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never silence mine.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Full effect at all times.
Seriously?
Well, I mean, silence means what? A buzz or no buzz at all?
Buzz, both.
Oh,
buzz or no buzz.
I got the buzz going.
My ringer just went off.
We have to address something here
Take care of
momentarily.
that real quick.
We have to address something here, but I just want to let everybody know Steve Fezzik will be on the show here today, but he'll be on in hour number 1, so he'll be on momentarily on the show.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't psychologically affect me too much.
It's a little weird.
Too, you know what I mean?
It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have Fezzik on this hour, everything that's on his mind, and boy, does he ever have a lot on his mind. That's coming up here on the show. Fezzik Fridays, but early. Then, Felica, NBA Awards. Chris Felica, all his bets, sports betting landscape, soccer, Major League Baseball, and more. NBA Awards, we'll look at some of those. And then how about some Luke Swain Vegas refund? Not the NFL draft. Not the NBA draft.
Nope.
Not the NHL draft.
Nope.
But the MLB draft.
MLB draft this Sunday.
We can't bet this in Nevada, can we?
I have not seen any book.
Yeah. But
posting.
for those of you around the nation who have this available to you at DraftKings and FanDuel, it's going to be good from Luke.
Honestly, I don't even know how many books are posting it besides DraftKings, which good on them
Yeah.
then for being the
That's
only
right.
ones who are taking bets.
And Luke doesn't miss. He doesn't miss.
I think this is his, we'll have to ask him. This is either his first
Yeah.
or second year doing baseball because, I just don't think many books have offered it in the past.
All right. One last thing before. Am I reading this score right? Does Taylor Fritz have 3 set points? Is this correct? Oh. All right. So my bet in this tennis match here right now, we're going to get to the thing that Kelly needs to address momentarily.
Three set.
I have exact result. Alcaraz 3-1 at plus 229. VSiN.com/picks for all subscribers. That was the play today. I have nothing in the Djokovic-Sinner match, which is to follow.
You didn't parlay it with anything?
No, sorry, I did not. So I plus 229 on it, being exactly 3-1. And I believe Taylor Fritz, did he just win his one set? Did that happen? It did.
Yep.
Okay, nice.
In the blistering heat of London.
Yeah, because we think
It's
about
like
London.
87 degrees and people are passing out left and right over there.
So hot. That's huge that Fritz gets this set now because, and the handicap here is that Carlitos, he kind of loses interest. He takes sets off sometimes. He's like, I'll beat these guys. But, he loses interest. So Charlie Alcaraz does what we need him to do and loses a set. Now I just need him to win the next 2.
It is crazy, like, the differences in mindset that you have to have from, like, the women and the men, because, like, you can't, like, if you're going into a match, like, the idea of dropping a set on the women's side,
no,
you know what I
can't do
mean? Like,
that.
you can't even think about that.
Well, and only the slams are best of 5 for the men, but, he's just that good. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, maybe Taylor Fritz has other ideas. Maybe he's got other ideas. Before we talk anything else, though, can we address this by the books, which precedes us here on the network, and they do a great job. Captain America Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis, former ball player at the highest level, they do a great job. And this morning they had they riffed off the Love Island thing again, Circa doing the Love Island finale at Stadium Swim on Sunday. And I've talked about this show now for a couple weeks because every time I go back to San Francisco, I watch it with my little Gracie, who is now a teenager and is obsessed with the show, right? So she's all about it. And Deborah Song, fashion stylist, we all watch it together, but it's hilarious to watch. And Gracie's obsessed with it, but I kind of am by proxy, right? And so Dave and Jensen had the clever idea, I guess it was their idea this morning, to come up with what would a VSiN host roster look like on that show. Dave said the obvious choice was Serralo, a.k.a. Taylor Fritz, right? Joe Serralo to be on there. Patrick Maher on there as well. Dave had the greatest idea ever to have Greg Peterson on there, which would be phenomenal television. And then sort of as an afterthought, he threw Kelly Bidlin into the mix. Would you like to say something about this slander?
Well, he didn't say this part on air, so this is where it's going to get lost in history, right? But I overheard during a break. He started, Joe Sorallo would be the obvious one, and then quote Gil, down the beaten path, we get to people like Kelly Bidlin.
Wow.
So I was a little insulted by that. Okay, I get it. Me, Joe Sorallo, maybe not on the same level, but man, down the beaten path, Gil. So it sounds like the expression of like he fell down the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down.
That is so mean.
It's so mean. But I learned a lot of things. Savannah helped back me up. I would make a good bombshell. Apparently, that's what they were going for. The person
bombshells are those that they
stir it up.
They insert into the show after the original cast.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah. I could start a lot of great gossip, fake news, just garbage. But then I also was heard they're limited on drinks. This is not like old reality TV show problems.
There's an alcohol limit. Yes.
Remember like the old Jersey Shore horror stories where they'd be like, oh yeah, they were just fed alcohol and whatever they wanted.
One punch, baby.
I'm like, one punch. They're apparently capped at 1.5 glasses of wine. I don't even know what that is.
Oh my God.
That's like a nice breakfast on a Sunday.
Can you ever recover from that? Down the what is it? Down the what did you say?
Down the beaten path or
down
something
the
like
beaten
that.
path,
Yeah.
Kelly Bill.
Wow, Dave Ross, jeez.
Circa Las Vegas, by the way, loves on the line. Champagne's on them. This Sunday, July 13th, for the official Season 7 finale screening of Love Island USA. Big screen, bigger drama. Bottomless champagne for the ladies. No limit there.
I want to see Steve Fezzik actually on Love Island because he'd be the guy. He would not stand for 1.5 glasses of wine. He would figure out how to get that extra half glass at least.
A 61-year-old Fezzik on there on Love Island.
I mean, he's got dating reality show experience.
He does. Fezzik, as we learned on this show, always a numbers game investigation revealing a lot, was on Love Connection back in the day. And that did not go well. They did not have a second date.
Steve and I would be fleeing the island just packed full of sunscreen and towels and whatever else we could steal.
Now I'm offended that you didn't want me as your backup instead of Fezzik.
I just randomly thought about the free stuff we'd be able to steal off the island.
How?
If you're going to go out early, we're stealing all the stuff we can.
He would totally try to game the whole thing. I would be. How quickly could they vote me off the thing? Because I would just be rooting for you. And I'd be the worst because you would.
Is that how this show works?
Well, there's different ways
to get voted off. We're not in competition.
We are, but I'm 1,000 years old. I'm just gonna be rude.
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna be annoying. If I overheard you being like, "Yo," this is how I picture you.
All
talking
the names
to a girl.
are silly too. I'd be like, "Delicious over there."
Yo, Sierra, you want to utilize the bed? I'd be like, "You could use, Kelly. You don't have to use utilize." That'd be me.
Thanks, Dad.
That'd be me at Love Island. So the Scottish narrator would be like, meanwhile, Gil just wants to know if we have tennis channel for the hard courts in Cincinnati. Cut to a shot of me.
That would be the worst. We're all of us on the network, are you kidding me? Be like, where the TV's at? Where you need a game on?
Cut to a shot of me. Like, yo, you got tennis channel here at this island?
Like Greg would be rattling off every player on the LSU depth chart for next year.
To a girl. Ariana Gil, is there anything you'd like to say now that you've been voted off? Matter of fact, I would, Ariana. There should be no Baseball Hall of Fame without Barry Bonds in it. Thanks for playing. Appreciate me having me. Yeah. All right, last night.
Oh, that was fun.
Last night. I just thought I was offended for you, is all
I
I
was offended. It was the meanest thing Dave Ross has ever said to me. Jensen apparently brought up that I should be on the show, so thank you, Jensen. I appreciate it. I also found out, do you remember the hit movie Summer Catch starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jessica Biel about the Cape Cod League? I heard Jensen Lewis. You don't remember it at all.
No.
Yeah, it was like late 90s or something like that. Jensen Lewis was talking about his stint in the Cape Cod League and saw pictures of him back then.
Oh.
Pretty sure Summer Catch is just a biopic from his days back then.
It's just that.
He looks just like Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, wow. All right. I'll check it out. So, hoping Carlitos can close us out in 4 for a big dog winner now that Taylor Fritz has done his part. No play on Sinner Djokovic. Finals tomorrow, Iga versus Anisimova.
Doing anything with the match?
Nope, just letting my future ride. Hoping Iga gets home. 9-1 pre-flop on Iga. And again, I said it before the tournament. If you listen to the Beating the Book pod, I will be insufferable. But I'll be on vacation, so you won't have to hear me being insufferable about Iga winning her 6th major, if that happens. Anisimova, by the way, more worried about Anisimova actually than I would be about Sabalenka. True story. Just because of her grass numbers.
I feel like I've actually heard that from a couple people.
Well, you've heard it from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday. Then baseball. Then there's the good, and then there's the bad. We have this Mariners, or I have this Mariners 20-1 bet to win most wins in the month of July.
I didn't come along this time. Sorry.
Yeah. Let me just say this: if they win last night, maybe there's a shot because it's early, right? And they'd only be 3 wins behind. They're up 5-0 against the Yankees in the 8th. Brian Wu has a no-hitter going into the 8th. They're up 5-0. Well, the no-hitter gets broken up. He gives a base hit knock to the first couple batters. Eventually in that inning, not with Wu on the hill anymore now that the no-hitter is broken, Giancarlo goes deep for a 3-run shot, 5-3 after 8. And as a Mariners guy, you're like, oh, God, I know how this ends. Sure enough, absolutely cannot, the Mariners closers, Munoz again, I forget. I was losing my mind yesterday. But he can't hit the strike zone. This is like the Padres a couple months ago all over again. And, of course, the manager does not take out, right, doesn't take out Munoz because that's their closer. You got to go to the end. So they end up tying the game, the Yankees do, on an Austin Wells RBI. 5-5, we go to extra innings. Of course, the Mariners don't score in the top of the 10th. And then we go to the bottom of the 10th. Right, 1 out. Bases juiced because there's walks galore, right? Judge, fly ball, center field, but not particularly deep. Julio Rodriguez catches it. Perfect throw home for the catch him, throw him out double play.
Love this.
2 steps before Volpe gets in there from third. 2 steps. Volpe slides under the tag. Ball game.
It was an awesome slide.
Dude, can I just tell you something? That's it. That bet's over. Wonderful. Steve Fezzik. Fezzik Fridays next.
Oh, look. Wow. Look at that.
Derek, what's the guarantee?
Derek?
Mike, time to make history.
Players in Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole 9, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, we go hard into the All-Star break in MLB with a great card, highlighted by Cubs, Yankees, and Dodgers, Giants. 2 games in the WNBA, and the NBA Summer League action continues. Uncle Lou Finicaro with UFC plays and some NFL futures. Chris Massaro to talk futures as well. Follow the Money, 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network now, Sirius XM Channel 158. Check out the website for all our betting tools and analysis, or get the VSiN Watch app.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Want to bet smarter? Start with Smarter Insights. Right now you can check out Zach Cohen's Wimbledon previews, Greg Peterson's MLB best bets, and Zach also has NBA Summer League best bets as well. Zach working overtime. And later today you can check out UFC Nashville best bets. Steve Makinen will have his Toyota Save Mart 250 simulation and his, that's the Toyota Save Mart 350, pardon me, I don't want to shortchange him, simulation on that, and has a MLB analytics report soon as well. Right now you can sign up for full VSiN Pro access until the Super Bowl for only $175. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe to sign up today. What are we on serve here? Yeah, on serve here early in set number 3 between Alcaraz and Fritz. Again, the bet today, Alcaraz correct score, 3-1 at plus 229. VSiN.com/picks for VSiN subscribers. I just want one note before we get to Fezzik Fridays here. So I was just talking about the ridiculous Mariners loss last night, where they led 5-0 going into the 8th, behind a no-hitter from Brian Wu until that no-hitter was broken up and the Mariners eventually lose in extras. This is according to ESPN research. That was the first time last night in 236 games since 1977, which I guess is as far back as they have tracked this. 236 games, first time in 236 games since 1977 that a team had come back to win after being no-hit through 7 innings and trailing by 5 or more runs. There you go. That's what happened last night to our Mariners. 48 years. Kelly and I, our first reaction was, wow, that's happened 236 times, that a team has been up 5 or more runs behind a no-hitter and lost. But in all those years, the math sort of makes sense, because if there's been, as Steve pointed out off air, if there's been, let's say, 800 or 900 no-hitters through 7 that eventually get broken up, it makes sense that roughly a third of them, or slightly less than that, would result in a loss. Speaking of the man, it's time for Fezzik Fridays right here on A Numbers Game.
Whether it's at the sportsbook or anywhere else in the casino, he's always helping us find an edge. It's time for Fezzik Fridays.
Oh, yes. We're the only back-to-back winner of the Hilton Super Contest back in the day. Later, the Westgate Super Contest. Steve Fezzik, how you doing, man?
I got to get to the Rio and get my money. I got 1 day left. Did you see Crack talked about the matching status?
Can I apologize to Kelly? Because Crack talked about it yesterday, and then Kelly sort of very quietly reminds me after the show. He goes, yeah, I was talking about that the other day on the air, and I didn't relate the two. So Kelly was the first one to talk about it, and then Crack drove it home yesterday.
So you have till 11 p.m. You can get up to $500 if you've got top status of cards. If you got less, you get some money. And I got to give the Rio a lot of credit. So they tweeted, basically, they weren't going to admit that they made it too generous, but they said, the response has been tremendous, and we're going to continue it until 11 p.m. today. And then we're going to retool it,
And then they'll retool it.
Yes.
We worried about that, like with the March Madness thing at Virgin. Remember, we're like, they won't do this again. Was it no juice for the first 2 days of March Madness, I believe it was?
Right. And there's a long history. I remember 20 years ago, there was a promotion at the Maxim. If you signed up for a player's card, you got $300. All right. And so my former associate, Goose, was signing up homeless people outside, handing them $20. They would hand him the card, and he just would go ahead and run the $300 through, and he must have signed up, I think over 100 people.
Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, so you and Kelly were texting about this last Sunday. Oh, that far ago.
Not about the Rio. I was unaware last Sunday.
Oh, you were?
Yes, Kelly may have been aware, but I was not.
Or Kelly texted you about it, maybe. That's perhaps, and you didn't respond. Okay. Before we talk about all these other random thoughts that you have, can we give out some Steve Fezzik picks before we do any of that?
Sure.
Let's do some baseball today. What do you have?
So I've got 3 baseball picks. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I understand money is pouring in on the Braves. I would say if I had one critique, we are a slave to line moves. So often they're like, the smart money is all over Atlanta. All right. I assure you, there's no smart money betting Atlanta now that they're a slight favorite. I mean, maybe they bet Atlanta plus 120, but now they can get the Cards at minus 103, 100%. I like Liberatore, the pitcher, and I think the Braves are absolutely donezo, and we keep waiting for them to make their move, and it's not happening. Giant Magic it's a real thing.
Yes.
It's just, it's amazing how this team's just been undervalued year after year. And all of a sudden, you know what? It's not impossible that the Giants could get back into this division race. So we are on the Giants as a favorite with Webb. And finally, those D-backs. I'm sorry. They let us down yesterday, first 5. We don't trust the bullpen. We're going right back to it. First 5 D-backs against the Angels.
So, St. Louis Cardinals against the Braves at a better number than Steve got them at. Minus 103 now on the Cardinals, hosting the Braves today. Also on the Giants, full game, and on the Arizona Diamondbacks, first 5. Because, of course, any runs that happen against them after that will be of no consequence to your bet.
Copyright Gil Alexander. So Gil used to give out all these winners, and he'd always write the same mention. He's like, all those runs the Yankees got when they were being no-hit was of no consequence to our Seattle first 5.
I love those are the Dr. Bob recaps back in the day. All right, and then you have a college football play for us as well, season long?
Yes. So we are Marshall basically relocated to Southern Miss. So Marshall, their coach left and took all their players.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a couple of them left. So Marshall is a shell of themselves. Under 5.5 season wins, minus 150 for the Marshall herd to underachieve.
Okay, now that we've gotten picks out of the way, we can talk about other things. I would like to do a good and bad in Vegas real quick here in this segment. Let's talk about the bad first. Visitation numbers are down, and there is something that you feel is being underplayed about this.
Yeah, now the number one reason obviously is the gouging, the $38 strawberry margarita at the pool, the $25 bottled water, from the hotel room. And that's the number one factor. But I firmly believe there's a long-term implication, the F1 hangover. Every fall, we have the F1 race. In 2023, it was an epic disaster.
Don't remind me.
Literally construction going on for 4 months. And anyone who came to Vegas during the fall of 2023 and to a lesser extent 2024 just has a bad feeling, like Uber surcharges through the roof, can't get anywhere. And what happened is that it caused so much tax dollars to go towards the infrastructure of building temporary bridges, putting them back down, that none of the traffic problems that we have in our city got addressed. The Tropicana, which is one of the major roads off of I-15, was closed for over a year because the city was so distracted with other things. And no one wants this. The people who live on the Strip don't want it.
No, we don't.
The people who work on the Strip don't want it.
No, they don't.
Someone is making money off this, the construction companies and the like, and maybe the commission. Well, I don't know.
Is this not this is the year 3? From my understanding of how F1 10-year contracts work, this is kind of the year that determines if it goes on.
Oh, is that right?
I think it's either I think it goes from 3 straight to 10, but sometimes they cut it off at 3. So I don't know. This is the fulcrum year on this.
So the bottom line is, if you went to Vegas in October or the first half of November, the last 2 years, you're thinking to yourself, wow, maybe Hawaii next year after all the hassles, et cetera. No one talks about it because someone's making a whole lot of money while a lot of other people are getting just inconvenienced to all heck.
Yeah, it's terrible. Well, let's talk something positive there, though, in Vegas, specifically about one of our favorite casinos.
I blanked. Oh, the South Point.
Yes.
I love the South. The South Point has the Benny Binion model. Good gamble. Give people, good food deals and give them free parking, and they will come and they will frequent your joint. And I can't understand, Gil, why, and give them a loss leader. And the South Point has the $1.75 hot dog, famously, which I think I could eat 5.5 of them, at least.
I'll go under.
We'll have to try that sometime. But why no one copies this? It works so well, and it worked for years in Vegas with their 99-cent shrimp cocktails and the like. And now they are just gouging at every turn. And you walk in to a casino mid-strip, you walk through the gambling area, and you got the 000 roulette, the bad video poker. You can shoot a cannon, you won't hit nothing. There's no customers in there. You go in the South Point Tuesday night at 11 o'clock at night, and every $25 blackjack table, good rules, is packed.
By the way, are we not, because of the downturn in visitation, are we not, or at least let's say even conservatively, the leveling off of visitation, if you're one of these Vegas people who refuses to accept the downturn term, is this going to turn? Could this turn? Could we all of a sudden start to see 3-2 blackjack in more places now on the Strip? Could they make that adjustment now, or is that genie out of the bottle, never to be put back in?
I think the genie's out of the bottle, where what happens is that the massive debt that so many of these companies are carrying, that they have to pay each and every month with the interest, they're having meetings every month and saying, all right, how can we squeeze a little more blood out of the turnip? And you see it even in the slot holds, which were like 6% and then 6.5%, 7%, 7.5%, 8%. They just keep going up, up, up. And now the 000 roulette double green is a complete and utter sucker's game.
Yeah.
No one sharp would ever play that game.
Let's talk some more sports betting stuff on the other side. Parlays. Stevie's problem with them. Next.
And they're off.
You're up for football season the sharp way with a VSiN Pro subscription. Right now, grab our football special for just $175. An early bird deal that gives you full VSiN access through the Super Bowl. That includes our NFL betting guide, loaded with team previews, power ratings, and season-long best bets. Plus, pro picks sent to your inbox daily, betting splits from DraftKings and Circa, live shows on the VSiN Watch app, and so much more. Don't wait. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Back on a numbers game. Don't forget to check out the Sharp Plays, unmatched transparency with records updated daily. AI betting analysis, real-time global betting information, alerts directly from the pros. Check them out, sharpplays.com. It's Gil Alexander. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Best listeners in the game. This is from, Xavier82 wants us to know that FanDuel has most wins for the month, adjusted odds up, and I believe DraftKings does this as well. Right now, currently, the Blue Jays, plus 198 short shots. They are 8-1, as are, by the way, the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox are 8-1, with a couple games fewer, I think, left to play than the Blue Jays. They are 9-1. Mariners nowhere close now. I think they're longer than when we started with them. This is from Temlach. I hope it was a Tenelach. Joe Bren says, have a wonderful holiday, mate. You have entertained me over the years while I landscape gardens on the east coast of Sydney. Love the dynamic with Kelly. You guys just give a great insight to help formulate an opinion, to own a bet. Bugger the naysayers. I believe I just cursed in a different dialect. Jamar, I hope I'm saying that right. Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have heard me talking about the pocket pivot hose. It looks like you could use one after your Mariners July ticket burst into flames last night. Have a great vacation. Good luck to Iga tomorrow. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Let's see. This is from, you guys are the greatest. This is from Martle. Kelly Casa Amor Bidlin. Don't discount the blade. I believe you mean Kelly Isla Amor. Bidlin, don't discount the blade. But yes, a vote for Kelly on Love Island. Joe C714, but Kelly, you have a great personality. He'd do well. Trip Tepper, can you imagine Fezzik on Love Island bringing up binomial distribution when trying to predict who will emerge the winner? 90% of the audience and all the participants would be clueless on that concept. Yes, he would. Primetime. Yo, word. In the season of grass, I needed to consolidate the break and took a ride searching for Kelly's infamous black market, yada, yada, yada. Drove 2 towns over for cheaper gas and found Iga hater Ben Wilson's family partying at a Quick Trip. Wow, there was a lot in that tweet. This is from Nick on the Love Island thing. He says, hey, guys, the only thing Serralo has on Kelly is great hair. Kelly, you have something nobody can beat, and that's a personality. Wait, come to think of it, I'm looks challenged, and my whole life that was used to describe me, so maybe this isn't a compliment. LOL. Dell, Mind the Gap Radio. Patrick doesn't leave the house. Dustin, Kelly, G-Unit, and Crackman would make great TV. So the Love Island thing, that's all anybody wants to talk about. And Rick Ollier, are you a fan of early aughts movies with less than a 10% rating on Rotten Tomatoes? Then boy, do I have a movie for you. Hashtag, what was that movie called? Hashtag Summer Catch. That's great. Steve Fezzik joining us once again for Fezzik Fridays. Can we remind people of your seminar that you're doing?
Really excited. Yeah, August 1st through 3rd. It looks like it's going to be here in downtown Las Vegas, and a boot camp. This is really something special where Bet Bash is great for networking, for meeting tons of people. This is really for serious bettors that want to raise their game and get to that next level. So if you're an amateur, you're kind of hacking around with this isn't your boot camp. This is the seminar for serious people. Don't want to have fun. They want to win.
Okay. Where do people go to find out about the Fezzik Vegas boot camp?
Go to VegasBettingEvent.com.
VegasBettingEvent.com. It's August 1st through the 3rd. You're not suggesting that Bet Bash isn't for serious bettors, but you would like people to know that you have been doing this for a long, long time. You are not you're not trying to steal any shine here.
Kevin O'Neill and I have been doing this for like years and years. You know, one of the world-class bettor, Danny in Kentucky, attended one of these 15 years ago, and now he's pretty well known as a guy who does extremely well. Hey, the early bird does expire here this weekend, so definitely go ahead and get signed up. Now, Bet Bash is for very serious bettors.
Yeah.
But it's for very recreational bettors. Bet Bash is basically, for everybody.
Yes. And your guarantee, your money back guarantee?
Yeah, if it's not for you, if you show up, I'm going to go ahead and present on bonuses and free plays and how best to exploit that the first hour. After that, if you feel like, hey, maybe this isn't for me, walk away, we'll refund your money.
So, in other words, what you're saying is if you want a Fezzik, you stay there for 59 minutes and then you bounce.
There is a $99 processing fee we are going to We are going to apply just to keep 100 people from one of my haters from showing up.
Not to give anybody any suggestions.
Yes.
Good for you though. Fezzik Vegas Boot Camp, August 1st through the 3rd. I would love to attend, by the way. I will absolutely attend that. Kelly was saying he's going to your seminar and the Backstreet Boys in the same day.
Love it.
And he defies anybody else to see if anybody else is doing that Yellow on that day.
You know, Kelly and I have worked with Blackjack, and he's really, been raising his game much to the chagrin of some of the local casinos here. Yeah.
I'm sure you're a very pleasant blackjack coach.
I am.
I'm sure you're the greatest.
The number one thing, like you get a pair of twos against a 4, and then you split and you get an 8, and your little finger starts hitting without doubling down. I'm like, I'm just like Bobby Knight throwing chairs.
I'm sure if Kelly makes one slight error, you're not all over him or anything.
I would let Kelly play in my casino still. Maybe not next year, but yeah.
Okay, let's talk about parlays. We often bring this up. New bettors love them. Sadly they're doing same game parlays, and again, I hope everybody knows you're not getting the proper bang for your buck on same game parlays. But parlays in general, you always make fun when Borchard comes on. You're like, he's the smartest guy in the world, and then he throws out a parlay at the end. You're not a parlay fan. Explain why.
Correction, I am a parlay fan. There's tons of times to play parlays, and I'll cover them in my seminar. Correlated parlays, circumventing limits, looking like a square, getting down more money. But
those are the 3, by the way.
Right.
Yes.
And there's different derivations of them. The most extreme or simplistic example would be like baseball. If the home team wins, the game oftentimes goes 8.5 innings. So a home dog to an under parlay is a pretty powerful parlay oftentimes to play with an obvious correlation that some books let you play. Some books no longer let you play because that. And obviously the visiting favorite to the over, can be good as well. The poster child of that would be Houston's playing Cleveland, and it's 1-0 in the 9th inning. Houston to the over, when all heck breaks loose in the top of the 10th because of the ghost man. But
other than those things,
the epidemic that is facing us is, and even the content providers who don't bet for a living, they have picked up on this, and like you get a favorite, and like Cincinnati's playing Colorado, and they steam from -200 to -240 or whatever it might close, and they're like, you know what, that number got away, so let's be creative and put them into a money line parlay with something else. And I'm like, you're still laying -240. In fact, you're laying more oftentimes because as soon as you put it into parlays, you lose the chance to shop for the very best number. Maybe you could play it on ProfitX or one of the betting exchanges and get the Reds -225. Nope, I'll just go out and slam it into a bunch of -240 parlays. No pro plays that way, Caveat, Elihu Feisto. I'm sorry, Elihu plays lots of these, but you know what?
I do them in tennis. Yeah, it's the only sport I do them in.
You know what? If you know what you're doing, fine. Okay. Yeah. If you're a pro bettor, there are exceptions to every exception, but in general, the public should stay far away from this.
I like, first of all, let me just say this. Even as you're saying this, it occurs to me in my head, like the percentage of people, like I think there's a lot of people listening to you who are like, Steve, I get your math. I understand your math. I'm still going to, I don't think people can resist the urge sometimes. But I do. I mean, one of the things that you say often is about this subject, I always find resonates because it's so simply true, which is you do have to realize that if you are parlaying, the possibility of you getting the best of it on every one of those legs is minimal.
Getting the best price.
The best price.
Right.
So that at a baseline should make people understand why you are against them.
Exactly. And I get it. Like famously, so a numbers game crushed it when these NBA teams were tanking because they all lost. All right. And so you got these 17-point favorites. And you know what? I get it. You don't want to bet, you lay 900 to win 100. All right. So, and if every one of these has a significant EV, if you put them into parlays, your ROI actually goes up. All right. You do better from a return on investment. So there are exceptions to every rule, but those are really the exceptions.
Yeah. Anything else that you wanted to add in on this subject with parlays? Like, in other words, and the same game, I think we need to drive this home point, this point home even more, which is you have a new generation of bettors that are I don't even think that they're putting parlays together. They are doing, like Kelly and I talked about this thing yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before, where it was regular season MVP and Super Bowl champion. And I pointed out before we even dove into our opinions that mathematically these are, you're not allowed to parlay them together. But here they've created a market where they're giving you much less bang for your buck. So I think most new bettors, sadly, are just gravitating towards something like that or same game parlays, which, of course, has swept the nation.
And a lot of these content providers are recommending like 3 big underdogs in a parlay because once every full moon they're going to hit it, and then they say, "Look, it pays 30 to 1."
Oh, sure.
And the one exception to the rules, if you do have a bonus bet, playing like parlaying all these big underdogs together is actually mathematically correct, which I won't go into all the details regarding that. But for the most part, what are you going to do when those first 2 underdogs hit, and now all of a sudden, you got this $20 free bet or this $20 parlay, and now you got basically $1,000 riding on this big underdog. You never would bet that.
Steve Fezzik, everybody, kind enough to join us for a third segment. Talk about a contest that he does like in town. That and more next.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Starting July 14th, gear up for the football season with VSiN Training Camp Today. Live every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hosted by Kelly Bidlin, Nick Whalen, and Jeff Erickson. With special guests throughout the week, VSiN Training Camp Today delivers sharp insights on season-long props, futures markets, fantasy draft prep, playoff picks, and more. VSiN Training Camp Today, all week. Starting July 14th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Powered by the experts at VSiN. The Sports Betting Network.
Game on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Mac tweeted in. He said, bad news for you. F1 already announced their schedule next year, and Las Vegas is on it. Oh, wonderful. We'll see if that sticks. WinnerCircleProxy.com is a place that you should know about, because if you need a proxy, you can join the world's biggest football contest with one trip to Vegas anytime before the season starts. Trusted by thousands of players over the last 9 seasons, Winner's Circle Proxy Service helped clients win over $9.3 million last 2 seasons. Learn more about using a trusted proxy service for all your contest needs, whether that's over at the Westgate, Circa Million, Circa Grandissimo, Circa Survivor, whatever it is. WinnersCircleProxy.com/VSiN. WinnersCircleProxy.com/VSiN. Check it out. Skill Alexander, Steve Fezzik joining us for the third of 3 on a special early edition of Fezzik Fridays here on a Friday on a numbers game. I just wanted, before we move on to other subjects, I just wanted to throw this out there. Kelly mentioned the other day how annoyed he gets at people sending in parlays, right? Mm-hmm. And then he sort of was, he didn't want to act like he was that guy. But, you know, to some degree, he gets sent now. A lot of people are sending him parlays. So here's one. This is a cross-sporter. How would Steve Fezzik feel about something like this? So this gentleman did a 5-legger cross sports. Alcaraz to win Wimbledon. By the way, Alcaraz up 2-1. Come on, Charlie. Let's get this last one. To win it in 4. He's got the Astros, in addition to Alcaraz winning Wimbledon, he's got the Astros to win the American League, the Bills to win the AFC, the Cavaliers to win the Eastern Conference in the NBA, and the Golden Knights to win the West in the NHL. And here's a guy, and so what is this? Pays 773 to 1. You look at something like this, and you say what?
Well, I'll give him an A for handicapping because I like actually the direction he's taken for every one of these plays.
Well, can I give my grade? Mm-hmm. I give him a B+. Do you know why? Why? Because there's one leg here that I wish he hadn't put in there.
The Golden Knights?
Correct.
I agree with that.
Like that's why pollute this with hockey, which is so random.
And the problem with the pollution here is that you're not getting the best number in each and every one of these. It's hard enough to win.
Yeah.
Especially in the futures market where the house vig is like 20%, but you can really knock it down by shopping. But let's say he plays so well, all of his teams, that their nose bleed for a month, so far over their heads, and all these guys win, okay, all these teams. Well, now you got the Golden Knights, and it pays 700 to 1. So now all you're going to do is be spending all your time, well, how do I hedge? How do I monetize all this? Why bother? Why put the Golden Knights in it? How big a yacht do you need to water ski behind on your bet?
Also, there's a potential self-loathing element of this. What if the Astros end up winning the World Series, the Bills end up winning the Super Bowl, and the Cavs end up winning the NBA Finals? Then it's almost like, oh my God, why didn't I do that?
Exactly.
There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Okay, you have professed your love for a contest over at the Westgate.
Yes, what's this? We've been clamoring for it, a college contest. By the way, Leroy's used to have a college contest, and they did tie for first in that like 20 years ago.
Really?
But we've been missing, I've been known to enter a lot of contests.
No.
But I love the Westgate format. $500, the price is right. Up to 10 entries, like multiple entries, and the lines go up Wednesday at 5 p.m., and the submission deadline is Friday, 5 p.m. Now, as a contest specialist, Gilly, I love me a contest where I feel like I'm going to have better information than most of my competitors, because as good as all these proxies are, they've got too many entries to put in, so they'll probably have a deadline on Thursday that you have to submit your plays, whereas I'll be playing with perfect information on Friday afternoon.
Does the Golden Nugget still do their football pro college hybrid contest?
I'm not sure whether they're still doing it. I don't believe so.
Okay.
I'll get back to you on that.
Hey, one last thing on the parlays. Maybe I missed this. Did you mention about people who parlay underdogs? Did you mention that?
Yeah. So this is a classic example with the Kelly criterion. Just would their brain would explode because they're saying, okay, your optimal, if you've got 100,000 in bankroll, your optimal bet on a big dog might be $1,000. But now you put it into a parlay and you start out betting 300 and you're way under betting the first leg. But by the time the Bills win and the Astros win, now you're basically over betting your bet size on that third leg by 10. So
if they let you do it with a free bet, that's one thing.
With the free bet, I won't go into all the details. The free bet is actually optimal to make it the biggest possible underdog. And the reason being, win or lose, they're going to take your free bet away from you. So you, by parlaying it, you get more bang for your buck with that free bet.
Okay, another Fezzikism. By the way, you can follow Steve on Twitter at Fezzik Sports, but I warn you, he's not a very nice person on Twitter. He says, another Fezzikism is you love, so NFL season obviously coming up. This applies to every season, but the NFL obviously most prominent for those of us in this little corner of the world. You love season-long unders in props.
Yeah, bet against human achievement.
There you go.
All right? There's so many ways to win. Like someone was talking up, Scott Seidenberg was talking about, made some great case about Tampa Bay and their offense being extremely proficient. And so one of my clients said, oh, I should bet Baker over. And I'm like, absolutely not, because there's too much at risk with the injury. It's just, I know Baker typically doesn't get injured, but one injury and you're donezo on these bets. So it turns out, if you had done nothing but all skill position players, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and you bet them under for their season-long numbers,
every single one of them.
Every single one of them, you've cashed in the NFL over 60%. Now, let me add, this doesn't work in the NBA because because of the load management, they set like Embiid.
Oh, good call.
It's always based upon points per game, not points for the year.
Right.
So if they miss a bunch of games, they can still go over. So don't do this in the NBA. But do this in the NFL when it's total yards gained or total touchdowns for the season.
Do it in anything that it's a counting stat thing.
Yes.
Not a rate thing. Okay. No, that's a good add-on. That's true, because the NBA does it a little differently in the betting markets, or the betting or the sports books do it differently for the NBA. Okay. And then we would not be Steve Fezzik appearance. And by the way, would you like to promote? Again, next week I will not be here. A numbers game is shifting to a NFL training camp format for the 5 days of next week. But then the following week, Kelly will be in here with Matt Brown for part of that week, but on Thursday and Friday of that week, so 2 weeks hence. So 13 and 14 days from now, it is Kelly Bidlin and Steve Fezzik for a full 2 hours. Are you excited?
Really looking forward to it. Bill 80 goes ahead and texts me, and he's like, Steve, we are looking forward to the non-Twitter Fez.
Did he say that to you? No, that would be my bit of advice. I think that was my advice the other day. I was saying, so just be yourself and don't be Twitter Fez.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't mess this whole thing up by being Twitter Fez. All right. So last thing then, it's not a Fezzik appearance until we do something in terms of status here in town. You are obsessed with status in terms of not social status, but in terms of casino status. What is one thing that you wanted to point out to folks?
Yeah, and by the way, this is another reason why Vegas is, some people are disenchanted. So many people do have those status cards, and they cut in line, and they get easier registrations and get
the
access.
Starbucks thing is the worst. People, like, you almost feel, I know you might not have a compunction doing that, but if you jump ahead of people at Starbucks, the looks you get from folks, and you're like, sorry, status.
Exactly. But even reservations, like we're over at the Wynn, and they're overbooked, and they got me in because I had my Wynn Black card, and they didn't notice it had expired, and so bang, they put me through. But having a status card, and you're like, hey, I'm not a big gambler. It's not fair. You don't have to be. So the MGM, for instance, if you just sign up for their credit card, you automatically get Pearl status. That gets you free parking. And you know what?
It's big.
More and more.
It's big.
Special event pricing. You go in, and there's always a special event. It's like $80 on some weekends. So that's the easiest card to get. And once you get status at one place, a lot of times these other places are like, okay, well, if the MGM says you're worthy, we'll go ahead and take their word for it, and they'll match you. Moving around. But like Rufus Peabody was golfing, and like I mentioned, Rufus, you get 4 rounds of golf free at Rio Seco and at Cascada, and he looks at me like, oh, like he never even thought about using that, and he had the 7-star at Caesar, so you get 4 free rounds of golf.
MGM doesn't give you Shadow Creek stuff, does it? No.
Well, not unless you're betting $25,000 a hand. You might not get a smoothie at Resorts World.
Yes, and do we? That's right. You won't get that. But do we also still have at Caesars? Do we still do the Atlantis in the Bahamas?
Thank you. And that's really the number one. If you're even just a lowly platinum level, which you could get in 15 minutes playing video poker, just ask me and I'll tell you how. But 9.6 machine, and you want to go up to Tahoe where they've got the easiest machine to get this. That'll get you a free vacation to go to the Bahamas. If you're on the East Coast, you want to get out of the New England winter. I mean, that is a great perk. I've done it, and I have to say I'm shocked everyone isn't doing it.
That was the one where a few years ago I said to Bill Krackenberger, I said, that's the one where, 5 years from now, this is 3 years ago, where I said, we'll look back on it and we'll say the good old days. They used to send people to the Bahamas. But it's still there.
It's still there.
Still
Even
there.
just for platinum.
All right, Fezzik. Don't mess up this show 2 weeks from now, okay? Those are your marching orders.
I'll just blame Kelly.
No, we look forward to it, man. You guys are going to have a great time. Steve Fezzik, everybody, at Fezzik Sports on Twitter. Follow at your own peril. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gilly.
Coming back with some Vegas refund and more next.
Introducing the $500 trifecta. Use your GBank Visa signature credit card within